come out. He's a ball player, so he's staying in for now. He's swinging for Jonathan India, leadoff batter.
右转
Single in the first, grounds out here in the third.
Boy, just what Mr. Lauer would like, being a little efficient. Only 30 pitches now going into the third inning. It's established the fastball command on both sides of the plate. Reds are up there free swinging.
And by the way, if you were able to comment, send us a question for Corbin Burnes. We're set to talk to him in just a little bit. I'll be your mouthpiece. I don't care what question I may have. He's great. I want to hear from you. Filter those along.
重新计算
Here's
中。
Jesse Winker.
You know, Danny, you've had a chance to watch Jesse a lot over the last couple of years, and I think he's developed into one of the top left-handed hitting
有机会时，
batters in
请
baseball
优
right
先掌
now.
握
Well
路线
deserved
计
going to
算
his
中，
first All-Star game too in Denver this Sunday.
请 U 型转
Double
弯
back to Lauer.
Yeah,
重新计
he's
算中
been。such a treat for the Reds, and he's just
好的
developed，more
让
and
我们
more
再
as the
计算
years
一
go
条
by.
新的路线
I。mean, he's always been able to hit sack, but now like he's starting to drive the ball out of the ballpark, opposite field. He's got a lot more power, and he's attacking fastballs more, which has made him so much better. In the past, he was taking pitches, taking a lot of fastballs that he could have been hitting. Now he's a little more aggressive, but the guy is such a treat. He's so fun to watch. He's just a pure hitter out there.
A couple of quick outs for Lowry. We wonder if Nick Castellanos might be taking a pitch here too. Give his pitcher a chance to catch his breath before he has to go right back out.
Pure hitter. Castellanos is a player you should be watching.
That answer is a big no, and I'm glad I'm not on the mound right now because I would be banking on. All right, I think Nick and Knight's going to be taking one. I'm just going to throw it right down the middle.
No, he wants to answer that MLB question: who's going to score
左
first?
转
He's got 17 bombs on the year. And 0-1-2. Into right field, just in front of the track. Garcia comes in. So a fly out to right. Ends the third inning. You think you're getting a commercial? No. We got something special for you. And on the other side of it, the special guest. Zach, let's take
没事
everybody，
我会再计算一条新的路线。
Boy, there's plenty of good pubs and breweries around Milwaukee. Let's go with the
靠
big
右，
Woo
然后
Brew.
继续执
Or maybe
行，
the punch out Pilsner.
That's for me right there. 13.1
继续
Ks per
执行
nine。
Oh, the light said Fred.
For Freddie Garcia, right? Fastball Freddie. Out of the air bender. That's the guy, Josh Hader, going to his third All-Star game. One of the top relievers in the sport.
You like the dark stuff? Some Darth Hader stout.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you something.
It's a nice little menu.
Yeah, that is right there. I think I'm going to go with that punch-out Pilsner, though. I want me some Corbin Burnes.
All right, Gravy, you're a pitcher. What do you think?
I got to go light set Fred because I'm a little heavy these days. I got to go with the light step.
Stay away from them carbs, Danny.
That's right. That's right.
Your body is a temple, Gravy. I got you. As we come back to
路线计算
AmFam
中
Field, we do so with some company, some all-star company.
有机
Corbin
会时
Burnes
请 U 型转
of
弯
the。Milwaukee Brewers has hopped on a headset. I don't know if you saw that Craig Council's little brewery that we made for you, but you had the Punch Out Pilsner named after you there, Corbin.
That's awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Corbin, you're going to your first All-Star game. What does it feel like?
It's awesome. It's something that I think growing up as a kid, it's something you always dream of is, to play an All-Star game and play in that big stage. To be joined by both Woody and Hader and, hopefully we're all here the next couple of days is pretty awesome.
We're looking at some of your highlights from this season. There have been a ton, Corbin. Is there one day or one highlight that sticks out in a tremendous first half?
Geez, I think I go back to the Padres game early on in the year. The guys played some great defense behind me, and that was it was a playoff atmosphere playing a good team, and I think we had a great series there. Ended up sweeping the Padres at their place. So that one probably sticks out the most right now.
Corbin, you made some changes to your game. You added the cutter to the mix going into last year. Was it a hard thing to do to change your game plan completely around?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, but when you get punched in the face like I did in 19, you got to figure something out, or you're not going to be in this game very long. So for me, it was taking the slider and see what we could do with it. And basically, we turned it into first started off trying to throw 2 sliders and turned it into a cutter. Kind of took off there in 2020, and we just kind of continued to develop it and continue to throw that curveball and changeup more. And that's kind of the mix we're working with this year.
Hey guys, we've been talking about Jonathan India here, but Corbin Burnes, you're rocking the sweet flow, man. I love it. I got a non-baseball question for you. Have you gone down Bernie's slide yet? Oh yes.
I actually have not. I have not. That's one of those things that everyone does at family day, and so every family day, now it's like I asked my wife to move down the slide. She's like, nope. I just said, okay, I'm right there with you. I don't even do that either.
Hey, you grew up an Angels fan. Did you have a favorite player as a kid growing up?
I always loved watching Jared Weaver throw. He went out with
前方右转，
not the greatest stuff, but just attacked the zone. And by the time he was throwing at the end of his career, he was throwing his fastball in there at 84, 85, and just was attacking with it like he was throwing 95. And I always loved to watch him pitch and his mentality on the mound, just going after guys no matter what he had. So that's something that I kind of took from that. And then also, by the time I was in high school, Trout was already in the big leagues, so it was fun watching him as well.
We want to talk about gamers. That's Jared Weaver. We got one from the comment section that's watching on YouTube here, Corbin, from Austin. With the only draft right around the corner, I wanted to know what getting drafted was like for you and how was the whole day. Also, my mom attended St. Mary's College too, so that's pretty cool.
Okay, nice. The draft day is crazy. I heard it's a little bit different this year. That I think day 1 is only the first round. In 2016, when I was drafted, it was the first day was the first 2 rounds, and then it was 3 through 10 the second day. So everything leading up to the draft, I thought I was going to go the first day. It becomes very stressful when you're getting toward the middle of the second round, into the second round. Your name still hasn't been called yet. But at the end of the day, I was happy that I was chosen by the Brewers, and they gave me the opportunity, and I was fortunate enough to kind of fly through the minor league system and get to the big leagues pretty quickly. And that's all credit to them and their development staff that helped get me here.
As there's time called, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to make a pitch for Freddie Peralta being one of the replacements here on the National League roster for the All-Star game.
Oh man, Freddie's been awesome. Since the first start he's had, I think he's had 1 rough on that. It's kind of made his numbers, inflate a little bit, but I mean, he's still got a low 2 ERA, and he goes out there and attacks the zone and punches out the world. So, if Freddie doesn't end up in that game, I think there's something wrong.
I'm with you, man. Hey, well, I'll be out there with Millar on set for Intentional Talk. Come by, because I'll see you in Denver, all right? Congrats on a first half that's left a lot of Brew Crew fans really happy, man.
Thank you, guys. See you there.
Corbin Burnes, one of the aces of the Milwaukee Brewers. 0-1-0, 0-1-1, still scoreless after 3.
Derek Jeter introduced to the crowd. Is it 3K today? He's 2 away. And
使用右边的出口。
most in this crowd standing, and they are anxious to see history today.
右转。
2,999 hits for Derek Jeter. 27 men have picked up 3,000 hits. Derek trying to become number 28. Double strike deep to left field. See ya! 3,000! History with an exclamation point! All on the way to join the 3,000 hit club. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
Dugout. I have gone down that slide to answer Gravy's question to Corbin Burnes. It was awesome. Did I feel like I was going to not make it for a split second? But then I made it down.
I have to ask, I What do you slide into down at the bottom?
There's basically like a pit, and there's padding, which our camera operator, we had to do the slide with the camera, was not ready for. He met that wall real quick.
I'm so jealous.
It's on the bucket list, Gravy? It should be.
Yes, that, and many times been to that ballpark and wanted to get a picture of Bob Uecker and slide down Bernie Slide. It didn't do either one.
The 0-2 pitch grounded over to Louis Adames at short. Votto is retired. He's starting off at the top of the fourth inning. So if you watch this MLB Game of the Week on YouTube before, you know that each week on our broadcast we'll focus on a YouTube content creator featured in our live game commentary section. Today, our creator spotlight shines on the Fireball Review. On this channel, you can expect to see predictions, vlogs from baseball stadiums all around the league, as well as the occasional movie review. Hence why he nailed my question earlier. What reference was I making? Aaron Nagler, also watching this as well. So one away here at the top of the fourth. We're seeing Suarez for the second time. He struck out in the first.
请 U 型转弯。重新计算中。好的，让我们再计算一条新的路线。没事，我会再计算一条新的路线。
Comes pitch number 40 for Eric Lauer. Zach, we were talking about a pregame. Like, what are we going to expect, given that formidable first three?
有机会时，请 U 型转弯。
What about Eric Lauer? He's coming up and down, and he's stepped up to the stage.
He really has. His last couple have been much better, Steven. He's fallen behind in Suarez here 3-0, but he's had pretty good command of his fastball early. Gets a favorable call. That one maybe a touch high to Suarez. He punched Suarez out last time on a 3-2 pitch that was up above the zone, and he may have chased for ball 4, but here's another look at that strike. Maybe a half a ball above that strike zone.
Just come and get it right there.
Yeah, when you're hitting 177 like Suarez right there, you're sitting dead ready to get a fastball on 3-1, and then boom, you just don't hit it.
And honestly, I think that kind of shows that he's just not, right now, I'm not saying he won't be again, but he's not the guy that we saw a couple seasons ago.
No, you know what, and it's intriguing because at one point he was one of the top third basemen when you put the whole package of the slugging, the hitting, and everything together. And listen, there's a second half of the season of baseball left to be played, but as we've seen in 2 at-bats early, he's had a couple of pitches that he's had to hit, and he swung through and he missed another one right there.
And to be fair, try strikeouts and part of Suarez's game as he draws a walk here with 1 out before. Also had a shoulder surgery. So there's some other factors going on here, and also hitting a baseball, by the way, at the major league level is hard. We have the results from our poll. Which team has the most imposing 1-2 punch in their starting rotation? And Milwaukee wins. Woodruff and Burns, the big grew, and the punch-out pills.
Well, I'll tell you what, it just goes to show you how good those two are, because if you're not playing in a major market, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, it goes to show you how much Burns and Woodruff are respected in the game of baseball.
Yeah.
And you put Freddie Peralta into that mix, and that's one of the reasons why I think it's going to be tough for the Reds, the Cubs, or the Cardinals to run this Brewers team down. They just have better pitching than everybody else in that division.
The Punisher, Aristides Aquino, swings at strike 2.
That's exactly right, Zach. But you talk about their pitching. That's why the Reds were so good last year, because of their pitching that they had. That a lot of the starters went deep into games. They had a ton of wins in the shortened season. But this Milwaukee starting rotation, it's absolutely ridiculous. They say the top 2. I mean, you can go top 3 easily as one of the best in baseball.
There's no question about that. There's just so many outstanding starting pitchers all around the league. So when we have that quote-unquote snub conversation after the All-Star game, yeah, Freddie Peralta would fall into that category, but it's just you look at the roster of pitchers, who do you take off?
没事，我会再计算一条新的路线。
Aquino swats one
靠
into
右，
left field.
然后
JP
右
Morosi
转。
has more on this Milwaukee rotation, which by the way has 6 arms. JP.
It does have 6, Stephen. One of the keys for the Brewers this year has been rest. We heard it so often in spring training, teams going to a 6-man rotation because because of the unique 2020 season to keep their starters better rested here in 2021? Well, the Brewers right now, Stephen, doing a better job than any other team in baseball of keeping their guys rested. And Eric Lauer tonight starts for the 7th time in the last 8 games on 5 days rest or more.
Thank you, JP, for that report in between jamming to the hits that are being spun on 90s weekend in Milwaukee. Do we have footage of JP dancing? I'm sure we hopefully are going to speak it into existence. 0-1 now to Kyle Farmer, flew out in the 2nd inning. And by the way, you know, the Reds starting staff, this is something that the Reds commented themselves since the 30th of May, of a 3.25 ERA, which is their best in baseball. So they want in on the conversation. Willy Adames going back, makes the grab.
Well, we've talked a little bit about, you know, the issues with the Reds has been the 8th and 9th inning, but hopefully post All-Star break, Stephen, they're going to get a little boost. Michael Lorenzen, who's yet to be activated,
right,
is a big part. They thought he was going to be closing games for them, along with Amir Garrett, who struggled, but he's pitched much better lately. So they're looking for some help, and they may get it from Michael Lorenzen.
Yeah, Gravy, that's a big-time arm that David Bell's hoping to have back right after the break.
Yeah, it's a huge arm, and it's a guy that can throw multiple pitches with some serious velocity. He's got good break, good tilt on his breaking balls, and he's developed a really good changeup last year when he was throwing multiple innings. So it's definitely going to be a huge boost for these guys if and when he gets back.
I'll tell you another thing, Danny. If he ever hit you, you better think twice about going out to the mound and charging that guy. Whoa.
Yeah, there won't be any charging off him, but that's for sure.
So, Gravy, you're saying you have not worked out with Michael Lorenzen? Gone plate for plate?
Nelly, I don't think I've ever worked out, so that's a no.
You were a saver, not a lifter.
Right, yeah. I was allergic to the weight room smell. I just didn't like it.
I think a lot of people can relate. As the count now 0-2 for Lauer, 1 strike away from getting out of his 4th inning. He does have a pair of Reds on base behind him right now. Barnhart trying to go 2 for 2.
Field. 然后使用右边的出口。
Going to start the scoring, bringing home Suarez.
使用右边的出口。
But 1-0 Cincinnati after 4. Well, 3.5 there. Wait for another look at that. Went all the way into the corner. Good spot by Adames on the turn, seeing Aquino.
右转，然后靠
Free
左。
Willie, Greg, on the spot again. Great relay and a good job by Urias to be there at 3rd.
But Cincinnati did get the first run. It's 1-0.
Sometimes things happen that just can't be explained, like a pitcher with 4 big league hits homering off Clayton Kershaw.
I kind of blanked out when I went around first and started going crazy, I
靠
guess.
左， 然
Came
后
in and
左
sat
转
down. I'm just like, what happened?
It wasn't the first time Brandon Woodruff had
左转。
experienced something that made no sense. In the summer of 2016, Woodruff's only
前锋
brother
左转。
died after an ATV accident. Brandon was in the minors when Blake passed away, and in his
左
first
转。
game back after the funeral, pitched 6 shutout innings in a 1-0 win. The only run? Yep, a homer.
It was just crazy because the whole day the wind was blowing in like 20 miles an hour and the balls were going nowhere. And then I step up and hit one, and it's like he had a lot to do with that.
2 years later, in the biggest game of his life, he homered and was the winning pitcher again. And the only thing Woodruff can figure is it must have had something to do with his brother.
It's like it's stuff that you really can't explain how it happened, but it did, you know. And to happen in a spot like that was pretty cool.
路线计算中。
With some first half NL MVP candidates. Nick Castellanos, we're watching in this MLB Game Week live on YouTube. He's one. Jacob deGrom. Like, I know the writers and the voters, they haven't traditionally loved giving the MVP award to a pitcher, but he's definitely in the conversation, as is Max Muncy and Fernando Tatis Jr. So you know what? I think that could be a decent poll question.
然后靠右。
Christian Yelich will step in to lead off the bottom of the fourth against Wade Miley. Breaking ball starts him off with strike one.
You know, I'm all things pitcher, but I guess one of the things that my argument against deGrom would be simply this, Steven. The amount of innings.
Christian Yelich in the left field. Easy for Winker.
You know, it hasn't been like you could make it. He's on a historical pace as far as earned run average, but his innings are down when you're talking in comparison to Bob Gibson, that magical year in 1968. But with that said, I think the second half of the season, Jacob deGrom is elected not to pitch in the All-Star game on Tuesday. So I think you're going to see his innings increase the second half of the year. So we have this discussion later on. I might be buying a little bit more.
Nick Castellanos, his resume, is trying to make his MVP case to see where he ranks in the National League and average extra base hits, OPS, and total bases. Gravy, he may not be getting the ink right now because I think it does seem like a two-horse race between deGrom and Tatis Jr., but Castellanos needs to be mentioned.
Yeah, he absolutely does, and a lot of that too has to do with, you know, not being a big market team. You got deGrom in New York and Tatis in San Diego. Now, granted, Tatis is putting up ridiculous numbers right now. After missing some games, he still continued to mash out there. But yeah, Nick Castellanos doesn't get the love I don't think that he deserves. But with all that said, I don't think he really cares. He's just going to go out there and continue to play hard and put up good numbers for his team. I know that sounds very cliche, but I mean, that's just who he is.
Oh, I got you. Big fan of Nick Castellanos, and I'm glad that baseball fans, not just Reds fans, but baseball fans around the country recognize what he and Jesse Winker did this first half, and selecting them both as starting outfielders. You know, you never know with the way the voting process is for the All-Star game. It does turn into a popularity contest. That is a part of the equation. But the wherewithal as fans to recognize, hey, it's these two guys. They belong there. And a special moment for them both, an emotional one for Jesse Winker. And you can hit up the Cincinnati Reds social channels and watch that press conference after it was announced that they would be All-Star starters and how it hit him. He didn't know that this was going to be possible for him to be a starter in the All-Star game. Being Jesse Winker.
使用右边的出口。
Listen, there's a cool factor about Castellanos too. I don't know if you guys have gotten to see him as much, but
yeah.
Nick Castellanos is a cool dude. Like, just watching him play makes it look so easy and smooth.
Totally. There's a ground out from Garcia. I want to go to JP Morosi for more on this guy, Wade Miley.
Well, Wade Miley, Stephen, before he threw that no-hitter, his 4-year-old son, Jeb, gave him a tattoo of the Incredible Hulk on his right arm. You can see it there, and afterward, Wade Miley credited the tattoo with part of the reason why he threw that no-hitter, and there it is, Marvel now seizing the opportunity to celebrate that achievement with a poster that's going to be given out at Great American Ballpark on the 17th of July. Stephen, it sounds as though Jeb's favorite Avenger was the Iron Man again. Wade Miley is the Hulk, his own superhero. So, Steven Nelson, which Avenger are you?
Which Avenger? JP, you know me. I ain't a superhero. You're a lover, not a fighter.
重新计算中。
I'm keeping somebody's calendar.
靠
One of the
右。
Avengers. What do you need? I'll get your coffee. We'll get you some more baseball after we come back. After 4 full, it's 1-0 Cincinnati.
The 1990 World Series, the underdog Reds versus the awesome A's.
左，然后左转，
That ball is fair. Cincinnati's
左转，
2 games to none. And what are the odds of Cincinnati being 2-0? Here we are in game 3.
The Reds have hit for the cycle in this inning.
It is 8-2. And the Reds are pounding that ball. And that's the way this one ends. And Cincinnati leads it 3 games to none. What a job they are doing on the Oakland team. High fly ball to right will put Cincinnati on top. The throw goes into second base, and it's 2-1 Cincinnati. Cincinnati, the champions of baseball.
前方右转，
1990, with an improbable sweep over Oakland.
右转，重新计算中，右转，继续执行。
Pepper, you want 2 rings? Damn, man. Big ring? I have, from the minor leagues, I have like 4. And then the one from last year, the American League. Man. I can't wear that stupid, man.
William Thomas wired for sound talking to the Brewers manager, Craig Counsell, as Wade Miley had zero intention of taking the bat for a ride there.
前方右
William
转，
Thomas, really fun, outgoing.
右
Now, Craig
转
Counsell had a reputation as a player for not being the most talkative guy.
前方
He
右
was all
转，
business. He was a grinder.
He was a grinder. He was an overachiever, a guy that loved baseball and started at an early age. And, you know, they were talking about the 2 rings. 1 ring with the Florida Marlins, the other with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Miley, target for out number 1. If you were watching and you think
前方
you
左
know
转，
for sure who's going to take home the home run crown from Colorado, you can enter
左
the
转
T-Mobile Home Run Derby Bracket Challenge and compete to win $100,000 at MLB.com/bracket. Restrictions do apply, so you can see the official rules for details. But again, bidding for $100K, sign me up. Gravy, Zach, home run derby pick. Give me one. Go. Gravy, you're first.
路线计
You
算
know,
中，
it's in Colorado. The rumor is that the balls aren't in the humidor thing.
Right.
So there's going to be a gazillion home runs. I'm going Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso. Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there polar bears in the Rockies? There will be one in the Derby. Okay.
You know, I'm going to go with Shohei Ohtani.
好的，让我
Not
们
only
再
do
计
I
算一
think
条
he's
新的
going to
路
win
线
it,。I'm calling the longest bomb in the home run derby 550 feet plus.
Wow.
There's one
Zach,
guy
that
to
I could
beat.
agree with.
Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo to me is the major danger.
This is a loaded field. This is a loaded field. By the way, Shohei's first round draw, that's a tough one. Juan Soto.
Right. And he's the 8th seed.
That's, I mean, I know that's a tough bracket there for Shohei. But I'm with you.
But guys,
Go ahead, Gravy.
Shohei Ohtani is the easy pick. Zach, you got to go with somebody different. That's too easy, right?
前方
In my
左
bracket that I
转，
did fill out, I went with Matt Olson.
I went with Joey Gallo, the one I filled out.
Okay.
I'm just thinking three true
左
outcomes.
转
There are no walks, right?
Yeah.
There's no strikeouts. But if you're talking dingers, you're talking to big fella, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
He's on.
But I'm going with experience. Alonso's got the experience, right?
He does have experience. That's true. But I
靠
feel
右
like，when he won it, he
然
was the
后
first
右
time,
转
right?，So rookies can do it.
右转，
Olsen would be a rookie. Salvi Perez is a sleeper, by the way. Everybody is
靠左
counting him out,
然后
and
左
he has
转
been hitting the long ball the last couple of seasons. He's got I
左
think,
转，
31 in something like 123 games between this year and last year. So Salvi Perez is an interesting one. I had the upset
靠
over
右
Pete Alonso
然后右
in the
转，
first round. This is fun discussion.
右
Jonathan
转
India， is a fun baseball player. I just love how he's turned it on here for the Cincinnati Reds, and he gets on base once again here with the one-out single.
我们已安全的来到
Okay, so
了
here is the T-Mobile Home Run Derby official bracket. JP Morosi, you heard Sat, Gravy, and I talk about our thoughts and our picks. Do you have a different one?
I heard a lot of picks. I heard a lot of wrong answers, Steven. The right answer is going to be Juan Soto. Juan Soto is going to upset Ohtani in round 1. Here's my theory. Soto has heard everything about Vlad Jr. and Ohtani and Tatis and Acuna, and now Soto says, it's my turn. He's winning the Derby.
I don't like that, JP. I love that. And you know what? To win a bracket challenge, you do have to go against the grain there. Like Gravy, you alluded to that as well. And so that is why Juan Soto could be a good pick for people out there. So that is the poll question right here. And then will be Game of the Week live on YouTube, presented by Chime. So if you're tuning in,
well, it's good that we all have different answers.
Yeah, it is true. Gave everybody an argument for every single participant. Trevor Story has the experience at altitude. Jesse Winker wants to get back on the home run track in this regular season. He has cooled off a little bit after a torrid start, and he's worked himself into 3-0 count here on Lauer. Gravy, would it be fair to call this just a certified slump for Jesse Winker? I mean, it's the first time we've seen it this season.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is the first time he's had any kind of struggles, but you almost don't really notice it because the team has been playing so well, right? Like, if you didn't put these numbers up here and show me, I wouldn't have imagined how bad he was in this slump right now. But that's the thing. You got guys behind him, Castellanos and Votto, and even Tucker Barnhart, guys that are swinging the bat well, so you can get away with being in a little bit of a slump. The good thing is the All-Star break's coming up, so he'll be able to recoup a little bit and try to get back on track.
Sees, as you can see, the top right of your screen, the defensive alignment. Milwaukee is shifting on Jesse Winker, and he sees a shift more than 70% of the time. He steps in, one out walk here in the 5th. So now a runner in scoring position for the Reds, a chance to add to their 1-0 lead.
You kind of feel like right now, Eric Lauer, the inability to get any of his breaking stuff over and starting to come back and haunt him a little bit. He's going to get a little visit here from his pitching coach, maybe buying some time to get somebody up. 66 pitches to get through 4 1/3 so far, so the pitch count very much under control, just trying to settle the young left-hander down right now. He's really turned himself, for the most part, the last couple innings, Steven, into a one-pitch guy. If he can either land that curveball, that cutter, he needs something to get the Reds off the fastball.
Maybe that's what he's talking about with Chris Hook right now. We want to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced, retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Not happy with my read there.
No?
Usually my only goal for any broadcast
is a smooth read
to nail the copyright read, and I left out the or between reproduce and retransmitted.
You're a tough critic, much like Nicholas Castellanos is of himself in the batter's box.
Castellanos, it's a chance to do some damage here. For more, StatCast powered by Google Cloud. I love this look. Taking you into the heart of the zone. If you miss there, he's hurting you.
You see that blue zone, that down and away. You know, you see that as a pitcher, and you say, all I have to do is get that ball there. But good luck, it's easier said than done. Particularly now where the strike zone is the strike zone. You see that box that you're seeing on your screen at home. You're not getting away like pitchers did in the 80s and early 90s. And a lot of the Braves pitchers, Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox, they were getting a couple inches in and off that outside and inside part of the plate. Those days are gone. You're going to have to bring that ball in the strike zone. So you can go ahead and try to pitch this guy down and away, but if you miss, he'll make you pay for it.
That's exactly right, and that's what we talked about earlier. When you make a mistake, he's going to take advantage of it. And that pitch, Sack, I mean, yeah, it's a lot easier said than done. It's so hard to hit that bottom corner away. Ooh. And, I mean, there's no wonder why it's tough for him to hit that pitch. But, like, you see all the red around there. You just hope they hit it at somebody. Like I said earlier, hope they hit it at somebody.
That was a really good